Hello and welcome to our Year 9 Options Talk 2021. I'm Mr. Broadwell, Assistant Head Teacher at Southgate School, and during this presentation I'm going to talk to you about Progress 8, about the EBAC and about the new curriculum at Southgate School. Firstly, I'm going to talk to you about the new GCSEs. In September 2019, new GCSEs were introduced for all subjects. The new GCSEs are far more challenging than the old GCSEs that they replaced. No longer, for most subjects, do we have tiers of entry. Students are expected to sit the same paper regardless of their ability. Coursework has been removed for most subjects, so no longer is it the case that students can boost their grades from the coursework that they complete during class. The exams for most subjects are taken at the end of Year 11, so there's no longer the opportunity to sit units as students progress through the course. In the new GCSEs, the exams are taken at the end of Year 11. And the grading system that we'll come on to in a minute, grades are awarded from 1 to 9. Grade 5 is seen as a good pass. So on this slide, I have a bit more detail about how the new grading system works. So if we start by looking at the top of the slide, a grade 9. A grade 9 is in fact the top of the old A star. So a really aspirational grade for students to aim for, but extremely challenging to actually achieve. If we come further down then, so a grade 7 is seen as an A grade. And although a 4 is equivalent of a low C, it's a 5 that the DfE refer to as a good pass, which is the equivalent of a high C from old GCSE grades. So with these GCSEs being more challenging and the boundaries being raised, so in other words, students have to achieve a 5 to get a good pass, it makes sense that students take fewer options than they used to with their old GCSEs. So students are asked to take 3 option subjects as opposed to 4 a few years ago, and this gives them a greater opportunity of achieving those high grades in the subjects that they do choose. I'm now going to talk to you a little bit about Progress 8. Progress 8 is the headline measure for all schools at Key Stage 4. This compares each student's result in the 8 subjects, and this has replaced the old headline measure of 5 A star to C in English and Maths. So schools are now measured in a different way. Progress 8 is the measure now being used by schools and colleges to form sixth form entry criteria. So we do this at Southgate School by using an average point score to set our entry criteria. This means that students have to perform well in all subjects in order to increase their average point score. I now want to explain a little more about Progress 8. So firstly, the first grade that counts is your English grade. And when calculating Progress 8, the English grade is double weighted. And the grade that's taken is the highest of either your English language or your English literature. And the other grade can count in what is known as the open tier. The next grade that's going to count is your Maths grade. And again, Maths is seen as doubly important. So your grade in Maths is doubly weighted. Then we move on to the EBAC bucket and the EBAC subjects. So sciences, computer science, geography, history and languages. So your grades from 3 of those subjects will count in the EBAC tier. And then we have an open tier. This is where your free choice comes in. The 3 grades from the open element can come from a mixture of vocational and traditional GCSEs. The DfE guidance states that students should strive for good grades in fewer subjects and do well in English and Maths. So there's no longer a need for students to take 10 or 11 GCSE subjects as they may have done in the past. We've introduced two curriculum pathways to Southgate School. We have the Hadley pathway and we have the Oakwood pathway. And this enables us to offer a range of subjects and courses suited to meet the needs and the ability of the child. In the Oakwood pathway, we have a range of vocational qualifications. So this will include business studies, ICT and sport. There are fewer option subjects to focus on, some more time to get it right. As I said earlier, you're choosing from 3 subjects, so you're choosing 3 option subjects as opposed to 4 that they might have chosen a few years ago. But within those subjects, you're going to have more time in class to succeed. Our aim is for improved outcomes for your child and to ensure that more students get more of the top grades, which will better equip them for the A-levels that they face in the future. New A-levels have also been introduced over the past few years and are assessed in the same way as the new GCSEs, with all examinations coming at the end of their course, rather than students sitting units and building up evidence throughout their time on the course. So again, more challenging than they once were. Next, I'm going to talk to you about the English Baccalaureate, or the EBAC. Students need to secure 5 and above from 5 different areas listed on the slide. So there's English, maths, sciences, but that does include computer science, geography or history, and a language. We don't make taking the EBAC qualification compulsory for our students. We would like to encourage our students to take the EBAC if it suits their needs and interests. However, we don't make it compulsory for students to take a modern foreign language. The next slide includes a little more information on the EBAC and our decision not to make the EBAC compulsory. We encourage our students to follow a broad and balanced curriculum. We want our students to follow an academic pathway that is appropriate for them. But the expectation is the vast majority of students will take geography or history or a language. This is to ensure that they take 3 EBAC subjects, whilst it doesn't ensure that every student achieves an English Baccalaureate qualification. Next, I'm going to talk to you about the option process for 2021, which is clearly going to be slightly different to what it has been in the past. So between Monday the 22nd of February and Friday the 12th of March, students will have 2 assemblies and 2 PHSE sessions with tutors focusing on the options process. So they'll receive information from the different subjects that they may wish to choose. Parents' evening will take place on Wednesday the 10th of March via Teams. This event will provide parents with an opportunity and students with an opportunity to talk to teachers about the subjects that they may wish to take in the future. So finally, a little more on our options process for 2021. On Monday the 15th of March to Tuesday the 30th of March, students need to formalise their option choices. Some students will be asked to speak to members of staff about the best options for them during this time. And on Wednesday the 31st of March, all students in Year 9 need to have completed a form on Microsoft Teams that inform us of what their options will be for their GCSEs. We also ask students to provide us with a reserved choice. This is because whilst we make every effort to give every student their first choice, this clearly isn't always going to be possible. So by asking for a reserved choice, we can increase the chance of every student studying the subjects that they wish to study. So thank you for listening to our presentation on the Year 9 options for 2021. I hope you found the presentation informative and useful. I would like to encourage students to talk to their form tutor and talk to their subject teachers when making these decisions. It's really important that students choose the subjects that are right for them. It's very difficult for students to change options once they've made their choices. Clearly, some classes will become full, and this will mean that students won't be able to join those full classes. Once again, thanks for listening, and I hope you're all very successful on your chosen courses.